Okay. Yeah. So we'll yeah. So good evening, everyone. So we'll start this session today. So as you know, I'm Shobik, and I'll be taking this session every Tuesday from 7. So today I got delayed a bit. So we'll see all the. There are 3 questions for this week, and we'll do them one by one. Okay. Yeah. So let's start. I'm audible, right? Okay. So hello, am I audible? Can someone say in chat or raise hand? Sure, I'm not getting any response. Yes, sir. Okay, good. Here I don't. Oh, so it is. Okay, good. So then we'll start. Okay. So the first question. So write a Python function that takes a string. I'll just change the color. This color is not good. I'll change a little some other color. So you can change all your themes and all from here. There is a button called preferences. If you select there, you can see you can see different themes here. I use the uh, vibrant ink, this one. I'll change this color a little bit so that you can see it. So basically I have to change a string. So string, I'll go somewhere nearly like this color, little dark one. Okay. I have to let me session-5 plus. Okay. We'll see. Have to restart it like that. You can change it. Okay. I think it's worst. I'll change this stuff theme itself. Okay. So let's change the. Yeah, this is much better. Okay. Better. This is also not better, right? Idle a comment. What is a spider? There was. Previous used to use this one. Let's use this one. Yeah, okay, it's better. I feel. Is it better? So yeah, I can increase the font a little bit. Okay. So write a Python function that takes a string as s as input and returns the length of the largest streak of zeros in the string. For example, if the input is this 1001, it should give return 9. So because there are 9 zeros, right? 3, 3, 6, 3, 9. So functions should return 9. So input the string S guaranteed only contain only zeros and ones. And output the function should return an integer representing the length of the largest tick of zeros in the input string. The program should also print the result. Okay. So largest zero streak for this one should be 1 because 1010. There should be with 0. Okay. So how do you go about this? Any ideas? Any ideas? How should we go about this? I just don't like this. So this one variable I've made. Yeah. 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 I agree. So how will you implement that? You have to define a function, right? So def is string. Okay. It will take a string. S, just S. And okay. So we'll first implement a count variable. So let's say we have a count variable of say a zero streak. Okay. Zeros is equal to, first we'll start with 0. Then what will you do? Okay. 0 is equal to 0 and we'll increase the counter. So basically we'll say that, okay, increase the counter means if we'll iterate over the string. So for I in S, correct? If I equals to 0, increase the counter by 1. So zeros plus equal to 1. Is it correct? Then what? But will this work? Because if I do this, it basically will count. It will count all the zeros basically here. So what if I give another option, else, sorry, else in other cases, make zeros equal to 0. Okay. So whenever I'll count 1. Whenever there is a 1, I'll again make the zeros to 0. Correct. So what will happen now? Basically, it will count 0, 0, 0. Then it will first happen. It will convert guess a value of 3. Then whenever it encounters an 1, it will again become 0. Then again 3, 3, 3, 0. So But so it will basically count the zero streaks. But I want the largest one of them. So how do you get the largest one? This part is correct. Okay, correct. If I now get, what will I get? Because if I, at the end of this, if I print zeros, I'll just get, this time I'll get 9 because it's in the last. If I run this, oh, sorry, I have not called the function. Trick. Sorry. If I now call the function, it will give me a 0. Because whenever it encounters, it gives me 0. By resetting the variable, there's 1. Yeah, so we'll do that. But remember, but it will give me 0 because whenever it will encounter a 1, it will give me 0 and it is giving me 0. Remember, so what we want to get the largest one. So what if I get another variable called largest trick and I initiate that with 0. Now, whenever there is a 1, correct, whenever there is a 1, before making zeros to 0, if we check that, okay, if that is greater than this or not, if that is greater than this, that means that is the largest trick. Is it clear? Is it clear that whenever before making the zeros to 0, if we check that, okay, if the largest trick is greater than largest trick is so the number of zeros that I'm counting, basically 1, it will be 0, then 0 0 0, so it will be 3. So we'll check, okay, if it is greater than, if 3 is greater than 0, then we'll make that largest trick is equal to zeros because that is the largest trick now. Then again it will make 0, then again I'll count 3 3 3. Oh, this is 3, no, this is not greater than this one, then don't make it. But whenever this I am counting, it will make 9. So now it will go and replace largest trick again. So what if I do that? Okay, instead of else, I'll do elif. Basically, else if. I can also write this, or you can write else and then you write if, like that also. Anything, both of them are same basically. So elif, else if. Actually, it's better to go to else. Okay. Else if. Now else, so else when there is, it is not 0 rather than 1 or something else. If zeros is greater than largest trick, what we'll do? We'll replace the value of largest trick with 0, zeros, and then we make zeros to 0. See, this and this are not on the same indent. So indenting is very important here. Otherwise, if I put it here, then it will not get, zeros will not make. So this zeros is inside this else loop, but this part is only this if loop. Okay, if condition basically. Is it clear? Will it now work? My largest trick now I am finding for the large. I'm looking for the largest trick. So what I'm doing? I am starting with two variables, largest trick and zeros. Okay. For I in S, so I'm iterating through the string. and saying that, okay, if I is equal to 0, make 0 is equal to 1. So if 1, no, it will not increase. Okay, 0, increase. Till you find 0, 0, 0, 0, it will increase. As soon as you get 1, as soon as you get 1, you first check, okay, if the value of zeros what I have now is greater than the largest streak of zeros. If yes, then do this. Otherwise, just make zeros. Otherwise, don't do anything and just make zeros to zero. So I am just resetting the counter. Will this work? Let's see. So I have to print basically not zeros rather than largest streak. Still printing. Okay, let's see what is the problem. It's still printing the largest streak. Why? Ah, a very big mistake I have done. See, this 0 is not a. Okay, no, I will ask you. Okay, why it is showing me 0? What mistake I have done here? Come on. Okay. I'll say the mistake is here in the line number 38. Okay. The mistake is here in the line number 38. Come on. You have to tell me what is the mistake here. Yes. Yes, Ratna Kumari, correct. So what should be the I type? I type is int. Okay, I type is int. No, I type is int. Is it I type int or string? Yes, I is string here. But this 0 is a int. So what should I do? Basically, just make I is equal to 0. Yeah. It's giving me 9. Is this foolproof? Let's try this next one. Okay, so here, let's try all the test cases here. Is it foolproof? Okay, first I will ask you, is it foolproof? If I give any string, will it work? Will it work? Okay, let's try and see. 1010. Copy. Let's paste it. It's giving me 1. Correct answer. See, it's 1. Copy. 5. Correct answer. Should be 0. Correct answer. Zero. No, I'm not getting the correct answer. So it's not foolproof. Why? Why where it is, why this one will not work? If I give only zeros, why will not work? Tell me. There is something wrong in the code. That's why it is not working. When it is only 0, it's not working. Yes, else is never executed. So this is our basically this is our a special case. So it's a special for a special case. You do this, okay? Instead of this, I'll just return it first of all. Always in a function, always try to return things rather than just printing and all. If in most of the cases we'll need that only. What we'll do, we'll say, okay, can we just ignore that part? So if there is only zeros, what will you do? If s dot count 0, I'm just counting the zeros. Can check for the end of the string. The end of the string. No, that will also. How do you think? How do you want to do? Just check the end of the string. Because in end it may not be always 1 or it may not be always, yeah, string of length. Yeah, Sadhya M is correct. So if this equals to len of s, that means there is only zeros. There is no 1. I don't need to count anything. I just can directly return len of s, correct? That is my count. If I now do and return. So if I do a return thing here, return means it will going out of the function. It will not execute this part. You will first check for the special case. If it actually is there or not, it will just check. Okay. So let's see. I have not printed it. So I have to print it. To print whatever I'm returning, I print it. 4. It's working fine. So basically it's ending here. If I just do a what is this called? Debugging here. We'll see that it first checking this one. Since it is true, 4, 4, it will just return it from here. See, it is saying return here. I can plus control plus it here. If I now go to next step, it will do something. I'll just stop it. Yeah. Basically, it will go to that return loop and all. See, if I now go this, it will say me, okay, return me 4. It will just, yeah, okay, it's getting hanged because of that. Getting hanged because of the return function. This is a spider issue. It's not a code issue. It's a spider issue, basically. Go back here. Yeah. Okay. So it is done. So let's just revise what we did. First, we'll check for a special case where if the count of 0 is equal to len of s, that means there is only zeros. If it is zeros, then will return the length of string or whatever one, either one of these I can return. Okay. Otherwise, we'll start as two variables. One will say, okay, largest string, and another is 0. We'll iterate through the string and see if I is equals to 0. If it is equals to 0, then we'll increase the zeros by 1, not the largest string, only zeros. Now, whenever it encounters anything except 0, we'll say that, okay, else check first that when you are going through the string, just check if you have um, the zeros string is greater than the largest string. If it's yes, then make make that string as largest string, and and then do zeros equal to zeros, and again make the counter at 0 and return the largest string. Otherwise, then print the string. Okay, and we'll check the last case also. It will work, of course. See, 10. So all of our whatever we had here is working. So our code is nearly foolproof. We don't know. Okay. And we have to give one input. So I'm not checking. You know how to do that, right? So you have to give a like input your string, something like that. So you already know this thing. Okay, this is done. Next one. Write a Python program that calculates the dot product of two lists containing the same number of elements. So what is the basically the formula of any dot products? So I'll open the whiteboard. What is a dot product? I think every one of you know it is a dot product. What is a dot product? We'll see that. Okay. Yeah. So if I have it's kind of a the general one. So you have a dot product of x comma y, or actually I should not go like this. I should go actually x1 yeah, x2 x3 dot. If this vector, and we have another vector, it is y1 y2 y3 dot. If it is n large is n matrix, also n matrix, then the dot product is equal to basically, actually it should be a1 x1 rather, a2 x2, it's like that it works, a3 x3 and b1 y1 b2 y2 b3 y3. The dot product is basically a1 sorry, dot product is basically a1 x1 plus a2 sorry, a1 x1 into b1 y1 plus a2 x2 into B2 Y2 plus dot. Same, okay? Basically plus it will go AN XN into BN YN. Okay, so this is the formula of the dot product. Now, if I go for a general, something easier, this is the general formula. So if I now go for a easier one, so basically you have to multiply this into this into this into this, like that. Okay. So if I go for anything a general one, so it's better to write, say I'll just write 111 cross 111. So it's better to yeah, write it. I prefer to write it in this way. Do it. So I can 1 1 1. Okay. I have to just multiply like this. I have to go this. Okay. So if I now do it, so this one. Let's not do it in that way. Let's do it on the old way. What I have done previously, right? 1 1 1. Okay. And if I now do it, what I'll get 1 into 1 1 plus 1 into 1 1 plus 1 into 1 1. So is equal to 3. Now if I go in a Pythonic way, what I am doing basically, if I am going to the ith element of this one and ith element of this one, I'm basically multiplying and doing a plus, right? So basically, if I now say if I have two lists, say list L1 and list L2, if I calculate so I have to basically do what I have to do, list L1's 0th element into L2's 0th element, correct? Plus L1's first element to sorry, L1 first element to L2's first element, and like that, correct? So let's see what it's saying. The program should take two lists of integers as input from user, then call a function named dot product to find the dot product of two lists. The dot product function should take two lists A and B as input and should return the dot product of those two lists. Okay. Your program should first prompt the user to enter two lists of integers, which should be entered as strings separated by spaces. Because input only take strings. Your program should convert the input strings to list of integers. Your program should then call dot product function with the two lists as arguments and store the resulting dot product in a variable named result. Finally, your program should print out the dot product output. Okay. Let's do first this one. Okay, this part. We can go later of this part. Okay. And let's see what we have. So we have to get two lists. So list A is equal to, I have to get a input. So first prompt the user to enter the two lists of integers. So equal to input. Say we'll say, okay, your list one elements separated by space. Next, we'll do again one more times. Okay, your list two element by spaces. Okay. Ah, okay. And split after that. Yes, we'll split after that. Okay, split after that. Um, string dot split, correct? So basically A is equal to take multiple inputs means yeah, it will take the yeah. So we'll split. Hmm. Input dot split to yeah, we can do that also. For easier thing. Yeah, input that this will also work. Dot split. It's also work. I'm just doing it for others to understand. So if I'll tell at the end, I can do that. Okay. Mm, yeah. So we'll split it. B is equal to B dot split same. Since there is space, so I'm splitting within the space. Now, okay, let's see if this part. Okay, so I'll do this inside the function. Correct. It's better to do it inside the def. But my function should, sorry, dot product. So def dot product E comma B, and I will make. So this indexing is better not, don't use space. This many times creates problem. Always use tab. Okay, tab or shift tabs. Okay, like that I'm doing. Shift tab will do a positive indentation, and sorry, tab will do a positive indentation, means indentation at the right. Shift tab will do a indentation at the left. Okay, always for indentation. Okay. Okay, let's see first what is, it's if our this one is working or not. So print A comma B, separator is equal to a version. Let's see first if this is working or not. So dot product maybe. Okay, good. Yeah. So if I first run the program, so 1 space 1 space 1. Okay, 1 space 1 space 1. Correct. Space. Okay. Um. Yeah. So this we have done this. Now if I do a dot product, will okay. Let's do a dot product. So what I have to do to the dot product? So okay. So I have to first check two more things. What we'll say? We'll check. Okay. If len of A equals to len of B. So there are two ways you can do it. Okay. One way is to do if this not equal to B, return by saying that lists must be of same size. Okay, otherwise it will show me error. So if I didn't, so for example, if I didn't have this one, what it will do? So for example, it will show me error. If I do 1 space 1 and give 1 space 1 space 1, so there is a, this will not work because for if I do, there are 3 ways you can do it actually. There are 3 ways you can do it. For I in, what should be our indexing? Till what? What should be our range? What should we do? Anyone? What is I here? Something like this. Range of length of A or B, anything we can do. What do you have to do? We'll do that. Yeah, so we have to first, okay, so we have to first do a post plus thing, right? So first we'll say, okay, result is equal to 0. That is the first result. And what we'll do? We'll increase the result by plus making a positive, like making a summation of A I into B's I. Even if I give input of same list, will it work or not? AI into BI, will it work? Even if I give same list, let's see, will it work or it will gives me some error. I have to give return result. So after the loop, return me the result. Return me the result, okay? Yes, I should give print. Print. Oh, it went up. Why? It is invalid sync anyway. Oh, okay. So, okay. Oh, it went page up, I think. Made page up. That's nice. Okay, so dot product. Yeah, will it work? Let's run it. 1 space 1 space 1. 1 space 1 space. Can multiply a non-data strings. What do we have to do? They are still strings because they are in inverted comma. They are still strings. So, yeah, correct. Now, if I do the same, 1 space 1 space 1. 1 space 1 space 1. Yes, it's printing the correct result 3. Now, by mistake, if I have given say 1 and 1 space 1. What will you do? It's not correct. This should give me an error, right? I'm doing something wrong. Okay. This did not give me error because this was I have gone through only the range of line of A, not B. If I had have gone through, so if I have given like this, this, and this index error. So for that, I'll check this one. Okay. Yeah. Now if I do the same to return me with a error. List must be of same size. This set. Lists must be of same size. Error. I'll make an error message. Error. Okay. This is one way you can do. Okay. This one way you can do, or you can say if loop, you can check from a if loop, or you can do a try thing. Okay. But now if I do, so where the error will come first of all? Error will come somewhere in this loop, right? So in the video, I think you have try exception was done, right? Yeah. Can you just tell me if you know the try except like exception handling, try except? Do you know the syntax? Try except error. Okay. Exception. So exception handling is not taught. Okay. So what is exception handling? So I'll just briefly tell you what is exception handling. So what our thing is exception handling. Okay. We'll do something known as exception handling. What is exception handling base is? So think of in a code. Okay. See, you have a code here, and it's okay. Let's not go to the code. Let's go to a say road. Okay. I have a road here and I am going to the road. I'm walking through the road. Okay. I'm walking through the road and I'll go to, say this is my start point A and this is my start point. This is my end point B. Okay. Now I have to go to A to B through this route. Okay. So I'm going. Okay. I'm going. Suddenly, in front of the road, I found some block. Say some rocks have fallen, so I cannot go through that. Oops. Yeah. No. So there is the. So I cannot go through the road. There is some block. So what should I do? I should take a detour and reach my destination B. Okay. Let's say I have a detour here. I have a detour here. I will take the detour and reach my destination B. So what I will do? I'll see an error. Okay. I cannot move forward. So I'll go to a detour and go to B. So generally, I follow the straight route from A to B, but since there was an exception, there is a block which is an exception, I will take a detour. So what I'll do, I'll try to go from A to B. So I'll try to go from A to B by route 1. So I'll say this is R1 and this is R2. Okay. R1. If I see an exception, so except an exception, go from A to B by route R2. This is known as exception handling, because many times you will write a thousand line code. Okay, you don't know, so you try to see that, okay, where is that some error? So some error can be overlooked, but you also know there can some error happen. So what will you do? Okay, I know this error can happen. Let's have an option to bypass that error. So this is known as exception handling. How do you do that? So one very common exception is index error. Okay. One very common exception is index error. So I was having like we are having here, correct? Least index out of range is known as index error. So in Python has inbuilt different kinds of inbuilt errors like index errors, assertion errors, or what is the previous error? Type error, many things. So what we can do is, so one of the error is the index error. Okay. So I'll say, okay, my list, say now I'll make a, so I'll do it from in here only. Okay. So, okay, for in range of length of A, okay, you try to do this. Okay, so say I don't have this one. I don't have this one. You try to do this, but now see the indenting. I'm trying to do this. Now I'm seeing some exceptions. What should you write? Except, you can write two ways. One, you can write except exception, which is also a keyword here in Python. Except exception, get out from the function by printing. It's the same thing. Return the string. It was, where was I? Yeah. So return this. Sorry. Return this error. Okay. Now if I do the same and do 1 space 1 and 1, see, errors lists must be of same size. So what is trying to do is first trying to do this. If I is getting some error, which is an exception, which is error, list must be of same size. So it's better to specify the error. So what we should error specify that, okay, except exception. So exceptions you can also make as E. So I'm making it as a variable, making exception as a variable and return E. Same size. Actually, I have to write a print one. Print error of same size. There is a string and there is a variable E. If I now say, you will see that it actually will give you the error message very properly. Error, list must be or same time, list index out of range. So it's an index error. Okay. Or you can also just return E also. It will return, but you can see there is no error here. The red color errors where the code, so code won't get stuck. It will basically get executed after these lines. Okay. Run once more. List index out of range. Cool. Okay, so you can also write except and mention the error index error, except index error as E and return. Okay, similar. So this is another way to do try it. So this is known as exception handling. So what is the syntax? Try to do something. If you find some exception, so accept that exception. If you see some exception, okay, don't do that. Do some other thing which will not give you error. Is it clear? Exception handling? Everyone, I just want to know if it is, or you still have some doubt here. Clear, right? How the exception handling works. Okay, so our program is done. Okay, so either you can do it in this way or you can do it in a try exception. Anything is, both of the thing is okay. And we'll let's do for original list. So let's see, 1 for 12 was doing 1 1 1 1 1 1 3. Interestingly, see if I instead of doing this, except if I do exception now, if suddenly for example, if I find that I don't give some, if I instead of space I give something else. So instead of space I give comma. Okay, one, I just give comma. So it's also giving some error. Invalid for int with base 10. Okay. This is also a kind of, this is some error. Okay. It's mostly a type error. I think so. It's mostly it should be a type error. So like that. Okay. So with this, actually, you can handle number of errors in one go. If I had to go give this, then if I give a comma, it will not be executed. Since I've given a try exception loop, any error is there, it will give me this one. Okay. And so if I do a index error and I can get the error also. So let's say if index error, so if I if 1,1, this is type error. Basically, it's a type error. So I can also say, okay, yes, that's something. That's what I am doing. Except, yeah, yeah. You can always do that. Try except x. Huh, that's what I'm doing. Except type error. Return. I'm returning. No, there is no limit. Except type error. We'll say that only spaces are allowed. If I now do it, yeah, actually this type error is happening here. It's type error is actually happening here in the split. See, line where it is happening, line 94. 994 is actually happening line 87. Line 87 is happening. Except index. Okay, both index error and type error will be happening basically. That's why it's giving me type error first. So if I do basically a type error first, then indexing error, it will work. Okay. And this should not be. Okay. So if I do now 1,1,1. There is value error. So there can be multiple errors. Okay, so you can give by value errors. Yeah, whatever. It could be multiple errors. There is a value error. It's not type error, it's a value error now. Okay. There are multiple errors, so you can just also say, okay, except exception. Better to go for something wrong. Except sorry, should be. You can also like comma 1,1. Only spaces are allowed. See, but worked. Okay. So like that, you can go do it in multiple way. Okay. And if I go like now, if I do it the other way, 1 space 1 space 1, but I say 1 space 1, it will again doing some error. So because since I'm giving it exception, very generic error, that's why it's giving me this error. Okay. Uh, yeah. So this one is here. So you can, sir, allow. Yeah. So like that you can do. Next, so you can always, yeah, you can always do except. There is no exception. But yeah, in this exception also, if there is some error, then it will show you error. In this exception also, if I say some error is happening during the handling. So for example, even I'm asked you to get a road, this road, but also this road has some block here. Then what you will do? It is the code will get stopped. Correct. If the detour also adds, so you can all, then there should be another option for another detour from here. So let's route R3. Okay. Then you can also go like this. Okay. So there can be multiple exception handling. Okay. And that's all. Okay. So we'll go to the another one, and the last one for the day. What is that? Write a Python program that finds greatest common divisor of two numbers. Okay. Your program should take two input numbers from the user and use a function named GCD to find the GCD of those two numbers. Your program then should print out the GCD of the two numbers of output, basically greatest common divisor. Now, what should it should first take? So N1 int of input and namely N2 is equal to int of input. Correct. So we'll take two numbers. So I will get the GCD. So first we'll give a function name which is GCD. What it should take N1 and N2. So basic syntax. How should we proceed? Okay, you guys first tell me how should we proceed? Come on, how should we proceed? Greatest common divisor. By finding the factors of N1 and N2. Yes. Now tell me, do I need to find? Okay, then appending them in a list. I see. Then appending them in a list. Okay, good, correct. Then common factors. Okay. Then common factors. Then sorting that list in ascending order. Okay, and find the last number out in descending order to find the first number. Okay. So, okay, this one way. Let's do it. So we'll get F1, a list of F1. Okay. Then list of F2. I'll say okay. For I in range of N1. So I don't want to take the, or I have to, yeah, N1. Actually not N1. Range of N1. No, we have to go from anything. We cannot divide by 0, right? N1 plus 1. We'll say that okay. First I N1 F1 if F1 12 by I is equals to 0. Then not F1, sorry. N1. Then F1 dot append I. Same thing I have to do. For this one, instead of now N1, I have to go N2, N2, and F2. Okay. Then I have to find the common elements. Then so common is equal to something. So how do I now get the common factors? So we'll iterate through the list, any one of the list. So for I in F1, no, not F1 and F2, just F1, right? If I in F2, if say I'll check each element of any list. I can do a, yeah, F2. I'll say, okay, common dot append F2 as, sorry, I. Common dot append I. Okay. Then I can find, so I don't need to sort here. I can also find another way. So GCD is equal to GCD is equal to, what is my GCD now? Is equal to, I can always do a max, correct? You can always do a max. So I'll say that, okay, max of max will give you the maximum. Okay. And finally return me GCD. Cool. Now if I run, let's see if I give number 1 as 6, but 2 as 3. Oh, I did not call the function, sorry. GCD N1, N2. I have to print it. Okay, I'll again run it. So 6, 3 is giving me 3. Okay. Now, this is correct. There is nothing wrong here. Now think one more time. For 3, 6, it's okay. Now, if I give the same to find a number, say a very huge number. If I asked them to find 8,000 and say 9,000, it's basically have to go from 1 to 8,000 and 1 to 9,000, which will have multiple. Then again, it will go to again those two lists. Then find the GCD. It's 1,000. Okay. Till now, this is okay. But if I go a little, higher, not recursion method, even not recursion method. Do I need to do recursion? We can do recursion actually. Let's follow recursion later. Recursion in much later. Recursion is actually much later. So it's taking some time. Okay. Recursion is much later. Let's do it a little differently. Think, okay. Now if I am giving you two numbers, say 10 and 5, can the greatest common divisor be greater than 5? Can the GCT? So if I just loop through the smaller number, can we find the GCT actually? Instead of doing this many loops. Just loop through, instead of looping to both 10 and 5, if I just loop through 5, I can, right? So instead of doing this, if I just go, okay, for I in range of 1 to, I will use something called max, which will find the maximum of two integer. Sorry, I have to do mean here instead of max, not maximum, minimum. Minimum of n1, comma n2 plus 1, of course. Okay, and I say that, okay, factors is equal to a list, and say for I in range of 1 to minimum of m, if um I so if min of, rather not doing min, I'll just make a number. Okay, so minimum is equal to, let's make it like this, otherwise it will have to give it every time. I have to give min. Okay. So if I give minimum now, plus 1. Okay. If I sorry, if minimum by I equals to 0, factors dot append I, and I can return the max of factors. Correct. I am just looping one. I'm just doing one loop and done. If I now do it, 10, 5, 23, and 699, done. Oh, sorry. I'm doing it wrong here. Sorry. Sorry. This one small thing was a mistake. If not minimum, it will be actually, it have to be divisible both by both, right? So if n1 divisible by 0 and n2 divisible by I equals to 0. Correct. This will be the correct, right? It has to be divisible. If the factor has to be divisible by both n1 and n2. One. Okay. So it takes 899, 1. Okay. Because I'm just looping through only one loop. This one. Okay. Cool. Just one loop, done. Is there any other way we can do? This is one of the shortest way, correct? Because I'm just looping to it one time now, but there could be a shorter way. Okay. And I don't think recursion was this classes, right? Yeah, week 5 was not recursion, it was week 6. Recursion was week 6. So what is recursion basically? Recursion nothing but you can call a function inside a function. For example, I can call GCD inside GCD. So I'll come to it in the next class because recursion was still not taught. Okay. I was can you please min max or nothing? Min max works. See if I give you if you give it's an inbuilt function. Okay. If you give min of two numbers, say min of 45 and 65, it will give you what is minimum of those. If you give a list as input 45, 56, 67, 98, 100, it will tell you the minimum of the all the elements of that list. Give you 45. Similarly, max will give you the maximum. Okay. And if you give two lists as input, okay, 598, it will give you the God, it will if you give something else. Even if the list is unsorted, yes, even if the list is unsorted, you will give the maximum numbers. And if you give two lists, I just don't remember. It gives based on something else. If you give two lists as input, so I'll just see the index here. Min max Python. I forgot the exact. If you give multiple lists, ABC key is equal to default. See, this is the one. So this will throws an exception because okay, runtime error. No, I want to see. If you give two lists, it will give you something else. I forgot. Basically, if you understand this, parameters available key is equal to function where iterables are passed. I know this is separate. Okay. Yeah, but even if the list is unsorted, it will give you. Okay, if you want to see unsorted list, 67, 0, say 9, 87, 10,000. See, still it will give. Okay. Min max function works like that. Similarly. Okay. Recursion I'm not going today because it's not taught. Next week I'll go. It's in the week 6 course. So yeah, so that was all for this week. So there were 3 programs. And I hope you have learned the exception handling thing with the try exception loop. And so always try to see that how do you reduce the number of iterations in the code. For example, if you see the minimum here, you can see the iteration goes, it becomes basically half. The number of that amount of time it takes, becomes basically not half, actually more than half. Because then you are iterating to another list, another two factors, another list of factors, right? So okay, we are done. Anything else? Yeah, list of lists is basically take it as a comparison. So I mean I am not able to remember it now how it exactly works. Basically it takes something. I'm just not able to remember it. It takes something like iteration. No. It doesn't count the number of lists. No. Mm. See, this is actually whenever giving list of lists, it's actually doing something like this. Let's see. Min max Python list of lists. Let's see what does it. I'll also get. I'm just not able to remember it. Hmm, What does max Python do if I pass lists? Yeah. Here something like this. I see. I see. If I get here 69. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So if I can see here, by default, without an optional key argument, passing lists into min or max returns the list that had the largest first item. That is, it compares the item at index 0. Just passing int would only return the greater integer. Okay. So that's what I checked. So basically, if I'm passing list of multiple lists, is basically compare the only the first items. For example, 45, 69, which is the largest 69. If I give here 145, you will see that it will return me this list. And if see since there was a draw here at 45, it compared the second one. Since 98 was higher, it returned the 90, it is 98, but though this list. Okay, see, it returned me this list. And if I had a clash here, then it will return me 145.98. Okay, so that's how it works. Yeah, so you should always see and try to search in Google. Actually, you'll find some in Stack Overflow. You'll find something or the else. Okay, it's a very active community, so you'll find something or else if you go and see it. Okay. Now, if I instead of doing, I just do in the other way. If I just do it, that sort. Yes, yes, yes. No, not at each index. Not at each index. It compares the maximum value for the 0th index. If there is a clash at the 0th index, then it goes to the first index. It doesn't see all the indexes. You understood? It's not compare index by index. It's just compare the first index that has a dissimilarity. In sort not defined, sort is a sort or sorted. Okay, sorted. Sorry. If I do this, since it will be sorted, it will return me actually again this list only. It will basically sorting it. So instead of this, if I give say 189, no, sorted, not sorted. The index is sorted. Now, since I'm sorting this one, basically 56 will come first, then 67, 98, 100, 189. Now it's comparing basically sorted list, that 56 will be first element. So 56 and 145. That's why it's giving me 145 and 98. So if you pass list of lists in min max, it will compare the first index. And there is another thing. If you say that key is equal to len, then it will give you always back this list. So here I'm mentioning a key based on which you want to get the max. You want to get based on the length or based on the values, whatever. If I say, I don't know if it will work, it should work. So this has a higher summation. So this will be easy if I do it in a smaller list, like smaller value list. So if I gave it for say 5,6, which is close is 11, and if I give 9,1, which will be the 10, it will give me based on the summation of the list. So it will sum up all the lists. So key basically will do a function, len, sum, like that. Okay. It should give me 5, 6. See? So min max also have another argument known as key. So keys basically will give you this one, the sum. So you can do like give a function. Also, if you give, yeah, sum is one of them. There are multiple keys actually that can happen. Keys in min max Python. You can use keys and multiple keys here. You can use equal to function. So there are lots of keys and you can use lambda functions and those things. Okay. So we understood the min max, how it works. So if you give a single list, it will give you the minimum or maximum based on the element that it has. If you give multiple lists, don't mention any key, it will give you based on the index 0. If there is a clash at index 0, it will go to index 1 like that. Okay. And then if you mention a key like length, sum, if you mention length, it will give the return you the list that has highest elements. If you mention something this key as sum, it will sum up all the elements in the list and then give you the length. For example, if I give 9, 0, 1, still it will give me 5, 6. Okay, because 9 plus 0 plus 1 is 10. 5 plus 6 is 11. Okay. But if I give the is equal to len, give me 901. Okay. All right. So we'll stop here for the day. I hope you understood everything. So do you have any questions? Okay. So since there is no more questions, we'll stop here. Thank you everyone for joining. So we'll meet again on next Tuesday. Thank you.